That could be a cool one, yeah. Actually, both, yeah. Are you familiar with those tunes, Addy? I know you play a good bit of trad yourself. Something like that. And that's 3 time round, is it? 1, 2, yeah, 3 times around. And then you change tunes. Would it be nicer in... This is an A whistle, I'm playing it in G position, so it's in D. This is how unprepared I was for this. None of my instruments are in tune. Actually, it would have been nicer if I played it in like, can I play this in? Play this in S in what is it, G? I'd have to play. Might do that. There's gonna be a lot of quacks. Hey, you what's Uwukumi? Thank you very much for the follow. Okay, I'm gonna redo the tin whistle because it sounds terrible. And then we need some harmony going. But we'll do that. Oh, it's messy at the end. The messy last part, actually. Yeah, we could do a lot of tidying and just copying parts and that kind of stuff. I'd like to avoid doing that. Especially because it's not really the purpose of the stream. But yeah, you can see there's a... I mean, here, even the Bouzouki is not exactly in sync. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. For somebody who hasn't played these type of tunes for years. You know, let's see if can I actually just do a little bit of EQ on this. Just, not a lot, just 3 bands, but actually so here on the top one, I can't actually, I'm not going to be able to bring those low ends, but I can, it's naturally punchier, but I think we can correct that Is it real skin? Yeah, it's actually. I got this from a friend of mine called Steve Foreman, who was a percussionist and studio owner in Santa Monica in California, and I lived there for a few years, and I was lucky to meet him. And Steve was just a genius, musical genius. He lives now in Scotland, and he composed, and I think he did some work for the BBC Orchestra and that kind of stuff. But he taught me a lot about sounds and just experimenting with stuff. And I spent a lot of time in the studio, and it was right off Santa Monica. And he used to make some drum, like he made some of his own instruments as well. And he started getting into Irish music. That's how we met in a session in North Hollywood, was it? And then he was starting to make barons. So I got one off him to play there when I was there, and he let me have it. That was really cool. So it's Californian Goats actually on it. What else can we add? A bass. A bass is always tricky to add in Irish music. It's you end up just making it a bit too corny and tacky. It depends how you place it. Could I work something? This usually, if you put a bass, the simpler the better. If you try to do kind of follow what the accompaniment is doing, you end up just making it just too muddy and tacky. But let's try some bass, maybe something. Something like that. Dude, this is worth an upgrade in the Patreon just to get it. I can send it to you afterwards. I don't think I'd publish something like that. It'd probably just be I'll probably just do a stream recap, you know. I don't think it's a clean recording. Like if I was gonna record it for the channel and maybe put it in Bandcamp and all that, I'll have to do a lot of I'll probably have to re-record everything. Like this would just be a first draft really, and then I'd have to redo everything because the flutes isn't tidy, the accompaniment isn't tidy. So yeah, I just wanted to add maybe just not so much mastering, but a little bit of stuff like EQ, and so we'll just get some delay, EQ all that, send it to Imager to widen the sound, limiter just in case, because I like having a limiter just in case. That's pretty much my chain for the covers, like for rendering the covers. Something like that. I think that's what I actually, when I was just practicing that tune, I think that came naturally after the second one, and then something minor for the third one. But I'll have to think about that one because it's. I don't have a lot of jigs in a minor key. So this one was in. So it was a G first, and then the other one is in D, I think. Yeah. Actually, let me record it on the flute first. I don't know if I leave it on the flute, we might just have a break of instruments. But at least I'll have a bass if I play it on the flute first. So... Try it on the banjo. Can I play this on the banjo?
later.
Has all sort of sound. I'm actually tempted to add, then I'll have to tighten it considerably after, but a third bouzouki. And just Sure. Plenty of highs on the bouzouki because of those double strings. It really creates that sort of a crystally sort of sound, so you can actually go quite heavy on the EQ, kind of ducking the highs on this. There's still tons left. Out of tune. We'll try something. I'm gonna blast your ears for 2 seconds and then we'll see if that works. Can we detune not a MIDI track, can we detune that poor accordion to match the tuning here? And I'm just gonna play a chord. I'm gonna play that C chord, that D chord. That's all I'm going to attempt for now. We'll see if we can detune it slightly and by how much, and then maybe I can add that afterwards. Oh. But I bet you that if catch a pitch shifter. Do you know, that could work? That could work. Actually, what do you think? What do you think? Almost sounds like an organ now. Yeah, there's still a lot of tidying sound-wise, but I think we can actually make space for all of these. I think the accordion I mean, I don't think I'll get it to sound any more in tune than that. The sound texture is neat with the accordion. Yeah, I like to play a lot with the accordion sound just to actually make it, because otherwise it seems to overlap a lot of those areas in the sound spectrum. So it's nice to sort of force it in little niches and corner. Adding stuff like a chorus will make it wider and actually come out a bit more, but it'll sound more like an organ, obviously. Or adding stuff like a flanger will actually, instead of make it sit sort of everywhere, will force it to kind of come out every now and then, because the flanger will actually just go to frequencies and come back, and it forces the accordion to come out of those little or into those little areas where there's no instrument really filling that gap. So you'll feel like you're hearing the accordion a lot more. It's just actually just the same. It's just the flanger is forcing it to peak every now and then in different areas of the spectrum. So yeah, I like using a flanger on the low notes, and probably a phaser or a chorus on the higher notes. I think that came out okay-ish. I thought the accordion would actually just be trickier to do, but I think the accordion came out okay. That's it. I'll think of a third tune, a third jig. I'll dig out whatever minor key, jig and minor key I have. But folks, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.